All right, now we'll talk about the shading phase when you draw. Um, the reason why I wanted to talk about structure before is you cannot shade something you don't understand. You cannot shade something you don't understand. So when you draw like a circle, you know. So I want to talk about a sphere. When you draw a sphere, you know exactly the form of the sphere. If you draw the cube or the one box, for example, you know exactly what you are drawing, isn't it? So if you want to shade this, you will know exactly how to do it. You know what it looks like. You know the form. You cannot shade the form if you don't understand that form. This is what I want to say before I continue. So shading, so to say, is just knowing where the light comes from, where is the direction of the light, and what the form you're shading is. So, for example, for that box, if you want to draw a box for that sphere, if you want to draw this with a light coming from this side, in front and side, like something like this, you will know that it will cause some phenomena. So now you have to understand a few things about what the light does on form. When you draw a sphere like this and the light is coming this way, it will cause like there will be a light side and a dark side. This side will be in light, this side will not be in light, and there will be some kind of cast shadow. Cast shadow. These are the main phenomena. So the light shape and the dark shape. This is a shadow side like this. Yes. So the first thing you need to understand when you're shading is that you have to divide the subject you're drawing in two groups, like the light shape and the shadow shape. So this is the light side, and this is the shadow, the dark, like dark side, dark side. All right. So this phase is very, very important because it has many things to you are dealing with many things. You're dealing with composition when you do this. You're dealing with contrast level. You're dealing with many things. So at this stage, you need to stop and like see it as an abstract subject. Like, okay, is the design of this drawing good enough? I will talk more about this when I will talk about the composition. So now, if you see it like this, and you want to know what comes um, after this stage, I will not draw it. It will take much time. I don't have time for that. So this is the same exercise, but for this one, you will see many phenomena. This you see the same thing I drew before, like the light and the dark side. But here we have a few other phenomena. These, for example, you will all the time will hear about the terminator, or how do we call it, the core shadow, like core. shadow. This is a phenomenon. In the dark side, you will find many of these things. You will find it all the time. This space is the occlusion shadow, occlusion shadow. This is the shadow side, but at this place, for example, the light is bouncing from the ground to the sphere again. It calls this light side in the dark shape. We call it the reflective light. And after that, you will see, I think that's it. I don't know. So in the light shape, you'll see the half tones. You'll see the highlight. So you will mainly see the half tones and highlight. When you deal with the light shape, you deal with half tones and highlight. You can divide it more like dark half tones and light half tones, but mainly it's half tones and highlight. So in the shadow area, you will see many other things. The core shadow is the most important thing when you draw. Core shadow. It's very important when you design your subject. Occlusion shadow is important too. Reflective light is just like consequence of the core shadow. When you draw a very good core shadow, the reflective light will come up itself. So these are the main phenomena you'll see when you draw a face. Anything, when you draw anything for that matter. So yeah, this is another subject. This one, another form, but the same principles are applied. This, oh, it's ugly. Come on. So, but the same things are applied when you draw the shadow side, and you see the core shadow here. You see occlusion. I'll try to draw occlusion shadow here. So when you know the form of the nose, you can apply the same principles in any form. This is what I wanted to say about the shading stage. But I will say it again: if you know the form you're drawing, and you know these little phenomena like these ones, you know that they exist. If you know it and you know the form, you can shade anything. It's just about the technique now, but you need to understand these things before you shade. You do very good shading. You need to know the form and know these phenomena. So that's it for the shading. Now I'll talk about the composition. See you.